So, I guess I'm supposed to record my conversation with the Father right now. I don't know if I'll release it. If he asks me to, I will. I've got probably, I've got probably close to 200 dreams that he had me record that I have not released. And the reason I haven't released them is not because I'm disobedient, it's just because he hasn't asked me to yet. I am guessing that he will, but I honestly don't know. I wait on him, and I guess, like, you can kind of hear the frustration in my voice, and that's because, you know, there's a large part of me that knows, like, I know too much is what I could say. And also, what is it, with wisdom, with much wisdom comes much sorrow, comes much grief. And I've been through so much grief in my life already that, you know, I really, I feel very detached from things that happen. Just not only because the Lord keeps me safe from it, but also because I saw it coming is the thing. Like, that's kind of how I feel about things. And that's how I feel about, ouch, how I feel about, okay, don't. I don't, it's not that I'm not affected. Wow. I think that's Saturn. Although I'm not sure. It's not that I'm not affected, it's just that when you see things coming, it's different. You know, when you see things coming and you know what's going to happen, it's just different. It's, you know, it just hits differently. So that's really all I could say about that for sure. But also, just today I was driving through Los Angeles on the way back from North Carolina. I saw the fires in Los Angeles. I mean, just Santa Monica is just on fire. I mean, not the whole city, but like it's visually, like, wow, like you just, just wow. It's something to see. I don't know what else I could say. And see, the Father and I have had this conversation many times about they're not going to listen. Like, they won't listen. They don't. It's not that people won't listen to me. I don't really care if they listen to me or not. That's really inconsequential. It's really beside the point. The fact of the matter is the Lord has been screaming and yelling at us, literally pleading with us to get our shit together for, I don't know, since like the beginning. And we haven't done it. And so, you know, and because of the vision, the foresight that the Lord gives me, I know that it's going to be like that. I like, when the Lord started all this with me, just, you know, it wasn't that it started, but when it got like really intense a couple years ago, and has only increased in intensity. I mean, it hasn't gotten any, like, it hasn't lessened. It hasn't gotten, it's only gotten exponentially more intense. The Lord has not let up on the accelerator at all. I mean, like, exponentially more. Like, it's more and more, and then, you know, when it's times 10, it's like, you know, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It just keeps going. It's not incremental. It's like astronomical, like, expedience, like astronomical, what is the word? Like astronomical numbers is what I'm talking about. Astronomical numbers, like, it's like the speed of light times the speed of light times the speed of light times. I mean, it doesn't. So, I mean, like, there aren't even, I don't even believe that humans have numbers for what I'm trying to explain right now. But, you know, because of the foresight that the Father gives me, I have a really hard time releasing words, even when he asks me to, because I already see it coming, because he lets me see it coming, that no, people are not going to do anything. They're not going to change their hearts. They're not going to change their minds. They're not going to get up off their asses and go for a walk like they know they should and change their bodies. They're not changing anything. They're not doing anything. They're not changing. They're not changing. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, those of us who know that we are God's elect have been standing in the gap, you know, as intercessors with prayer. And, well, like my point in telling you about the fires in Los Angeles today was, I begged the Father for mercy. Not for myself, for others. Because I know that I'm covered by His grace. But, like, that time is up. And He's been telling me that for a while. That the time for grace is up. And this is not like some rapture thing where we're all going to get, you know, called up into the sky. Because he's set that record straight with me on that too. He's given me multiple visions about it. We're not going anywhere. This is all done in the Spirit. As well as He's confirmed it through other people, believers and non-believers. And there's something really big coming. I don't know what it is exactly. But it's something we haven't seen. It's something that human beings haven't seen. Now, maybe the ancients saw this. Maybe they saw it when the fallen were still, you know, like, I mean, like in Noah's time. Like, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, this is like some extraordinary stuff. Excuse me. I'm getting rid of the mold in my body, and it's just gross. So I have this, like, yuckiness in my throat. Because I got infected with mold when I was doing Hurricane Helene relief, like, recovery efforts in Pensacola, North Carolina. Anyway, sometimes I forget that people aren't, like, up on my story. Like, they don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is, like, some extraordinary stuff. I don't know what this will be. The Lord gave me visions years ago. I think going on 3 years ago now, and He's talked to me about it multiple times, about the sun flashing. Something about the sun. And I don't know, like, the way that I saw it, it was, like, visible. Like, I mean, it was something that you couldn't miss. The Father says you won't be able, nobody's going to miss this, He says. Nobody's going to miss it. And I also know that the Father removed, literally, like, I mean, He didn't kill them, but, I mean, all my family and friends are dead, and there's, you know, I wouldn't necessarily think that it was, I wouldn't necessarily think that that was such a, you know, extraordinary thing, except that He told me, like, His voice was so loud in my head that night, that I whipped my head around, because I thought there was somebody in the room with me. I mean, that's how loud His voice was that night. And I was asking Him, not why me, you know, or, but I was asking Him, you know, what's the plan? Like, why did you do this? Like, why did you let this happen? It was shortly after my younger brother, the 12th person in my life to die in less than 5 years. I mean, it was just, anyway, He said, I didn't want you to have any vulnerabilities. And I didn't know what that meant. And over the last couple years, the Lord has been showing me what that means. And while other people are devastated by grief in their life, I will have none of that. And I'm thinking, I'm okay. It doesn't matter what I think. Thank you, Father. I'm just going to wait on you, Father. Destruction, mayhem, bloodshed, chaos. These are the words he's giving me right now. This is what he's saying to me. I prayed mercy for the people in the fires in Los Angeles because I know what the Father's capable of. Look, let's just cut the shit right now. God created good, evil. He created everything. He's spoken into existence with, he created vibration and therefore created duality. He created it all. He created the demons, the angels, and everything in between. He created the fallen. He created Lucifer himself. He created Christ. Christ is God. Okay, well, I'm not going to get into, the paradoxical verbiage and, words are so limited. But, the Lord can royally mess things up. I mean, seriously. And he's been talking to me about a pestilence, too. All-encompassing destruction. All-encompassing destruction is upon you. I don't know what this means exactly. But it's like getting hit from every angle is what it is. There won't be anywhere to turn. There won't be anywhere. If your home isn't, a mess and destroyed in some, natural disaster or other, it'll be your bank account destroyed. If it's not that, it'll be your body falling apart. If it's not it's just going to be whatever your weak spot is, that's where the Lord's going to hit you. And this is not some fear-mongering, be afraid. No, it's a turn to the Lord because He's the only avenue of any kind of rescue, of any kind of comfort, of any kind of relief, of even maybe even just a peaceful death. I mean, goodness sake, I don't, it's just things are getting so intensely, like I said, the acceleration of everything is so incredible that it's hard to imagine that other people don't see it. It really just mystifies me how other people and how other people don't see it. They don't see what's right in front of their face. And they'll see the signs and the wonders and they'll see all these things and yet they deny it. A form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. That's wow. Wherever you're weak in the Lord, that's where you will be hit hardest. He's saying there will be no mercy. Because he's been calling us for far too long to continue to extend grace. The watchers, the fallen, are among you. He's been talking about the fallen angels coming back amongst us. Because we've already had raptures. I don't know about everybody else, but I've had multiple raptures. Multiple. I didn't get picked up and taken anywhere, but in the spirit I did. So I don't, this whole, talking about, we're actually going somewhere. He's saying some of us will be space travelers again. But very few, he says, very few. It grieves his heart how few. You know, the Lord sent all of us into the world, and he made us, he didn't make us, but he asked us to speak up. He made it so that we're convinced, like he convinced us. And then we're supposed to go out and not convince others, but if you are walking in the Spirit, you'll hear what I'm saying. It will touch you in a way that it will like, it snatches my soul right out of my body. That's how it feels to me. Like, I can't deny in any way, shape, or form what's going on around me. I see it everywhere. Within myself, I see it in the world. I see it in other people's eyes. It's in the way people treat me, the way people talk to me, the way people act. Like, I mean, it's just, it's so, it's so all-encompassing. You can't miss it. And yet, so many people, you know, they'll say, well, you know, is it, God is talking to you? Well, yeah. Yeah, he is. As weird as that sounds, that's the truth. And what just, like, befuddles me to no end is that other people are not hearing from him. And a lot of these people are like, you know, theologians, and these people are, you know, people who've been walking with the Lord for years, if not their whole lives, and yet they're not hearing from him. This is troubling even to me, even to my little human mind, my little human spirit, you know, in comparison to the Lord. It troubles me deeply that people cannot see, they cannot hear. I don't know what to say. Like, I genuinely don't know what to say. All I can do is pray for mercy for those people who have not. They got called and they didn't answer the call. It's like, if you got called, you know, say you're like an emergency room surgeon and you get paged and you don't answer that call, somebody dies. You know, like, people die. Families are torn apart if you don't answer the call. That's how important it is that you pick up that pager, check the phone number, and call it back and see what's going on. Like, people's families are at stake. And yet, I'm just one voice, and that's how I feel. It's like, and I go round and round with the Lord about this. Father, I'm just one voice. How is anyone going to listen to me or hear me? How is my one voice going to make a difference? And he says, do it anyway. They will hear you. What? Oh, get out of here. It was a little mouse. They crawl up into my car and friggin' chew on the wires, so... I'm not scared of mice. I just don't want them in my car while I put the... Anyway, sorry. I cannot overstate the importance of what the Lord has been doing. And if he's not talking to you, it's not because he's not talking to you. It's because you're not hearing him. It's because you're not hearing him. I mean, I have known people who have read the word and they know the word backwards and forwards better than I ever will. And yet, they're not hearing from him. This disturbs my soul. Like, how can you not be hearing his voice? His voice is so loud. Like, how are you not hearing it? Anyway, the Lord has told me many times to get my house in order. And, sorry, Boo, I didn't mean to disturb you. He's told me many times to get my house in order, and he's not talking about my literal house, because I don't have a literal house. I live in a car. So, it's a big deal to get your temple in order, your physical body, your mind, your heart, especially your heart. I mean, he's saying people will faint for fear. Like it's there. That's what verse is that, Father? He's saying you will look everywhere for comfort and there will be none. He said you will call my name and I will hear you, but I will tarry because you tarried for me. Like, and not like in some, but he's vengeful right now. Like, I don't know how else to say it. He's vengeful. He's angry. And like, I don't know about anyone else, but incurring the Lord's wrath is not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be at all. He says, prepare yourselves. He says, prepare for anything. He says, prepare. Wow, Father. He says, prepare and then watch me tear your plans apart. Watch me tear down your preparations. That's what he's saying. I asked him a long time ago, during COVID, I asked him if there was anything I should be preparing for. Like, should I go buy a bunch of toilet paper? Or should I go, like, start prepping for, like, the next World War? I mean, what can I do? If there's anything I can do, Father, what is it? And he said, nothing. He says, you won't need anything. He said, the best thing, he said, you won't need anything if you prepare your soul. That's what he told me. He said, prepare your spirit. It's the best thing you could do right now. And so I said about doing that. I said about getting closer to him. I said about praying every day, multiple times a day, talking to him all the time and spending time alone, fasting, reading his word, and studying. He has me studying everything. I mean, what does he have me studying? A better question would be, what does he not have me studying? Everything from human anatomy to ancient medicine to and like natural medicine to the stars and the planets and the rhythms of the earth and how to connect with my angelic brothers and sisters, how to do you want me to say that? He says how to summon spirits from the deep. That doesn't sound good. That's not even something I would want to do, Father. That's not something he's had me actually studying yet. So that's him saying that. But, I mean, this whole message is from him. Most people don't understand that when I'm talking like this is my, like, kind of my conversation with the Lord. He's talking to me and I'm kind of filtering it. Although I don't change what he's telling me at all. Like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. This is huge. Like, it's so all-encompassing, so maddeningly massive that I don't really know how to... Please stop, Belle. Please stop, sweetie. It's overwhelming. Not in any kind of bad way. It's just like one of those things where you stand in at the edge of a cliff or something, or you stand like on the edge of a great expanse of land, or maybe on the edge of the ocean or something like that, or maybe you're staring up at the sky at the stars and the planets, and you realize how small you are. That's how this makes me feel. Not like small, like I'm, insignificant, but like tiny in comparison to how big this is. And he's saying you won't be able to miss it. He's saying it will change the world irrevocably. To anoint yourselves is of paramount importance. Not just like an actual anointing, like with oil, kind of like the doorposts or the door posts in Egypt when Herod came to, and the Holy Spirit came, and we all know that story before the Jews went on their exodus from Egypt. But to anoint yourselves, like your hearts, your minds, your bodies, like prepare your temple. Bloodshed, destruction, calamity, chaos, mayhem. These are all words he's giving me right now. And it's nothing to be afraid of because first of all, first and foremost, the Spirit of the Lord does not bring us fear, but peace, power, and a sound mind. I actually think it says love, power, and a sound mind, but there's nothing to fear because there's nothing anyone can do anyway. He gave me these visions about the sun flashing, like a great flash. And one thing I noticed, or that he showed me, has shown me, is that when we're having these massive ascensions, it coincides directly with coronal mass ejections and solar flares from the sun. Like, it comes directly from the sun. There's something about the sun, like our star in our solar system is what I'm talking about. The sun prepares and facilitates the ascension. So if you are getting any kind of nudge from the Father, turn to Jesus Christ, like right now. Like, I don't know what else to say to people. Like, my personal view on this, and this is not the Lord speaking right now, is that I think if you're awake, then you're awake. If you're not, then you either ignored it or you were too busy or whatever. But like, I don't know how anybody could miss it. It's as plain as the nose on our faces. Like, it's so blatantly obvious what's going on. But I also know that not everybody has the vision that I have, and not everybody believes like I do. And the Lord hasn't poured out his Spirit on everyone. He's poured out his Spirit on all flesh, that's for sure. But like, some of us are rebellious and hard-hearted and stiff-necked, and we will not listen. We think we're so sure we know so much that we just forget. We don't listen. But like, the best thing to do is to just ask the Lord, like, please reveal to me what's going on. Like, take this word to the Lord. Don't take my word for it. Don't ever trust any human, ever. Ever. Like, not even me. Take everything I've said in here and take it to the Lord and ask him. Don't ask me. I mean, you can ask questions of me, and if I have the answers, I will give them to you. However, your ultimate authority should always be the Father. Always. If you have questions, take them to the Father. If you have questions about the Father, take them to the Father. If you have questions about anything, I don't care what it is, about what you should, buy your wife for her anniversary, or what you should eat tomorrow morning for breakfast, what you should wear, how much water you should drink. Ask the Father. That's how much we need to depend on him right now. I mean, we always need to depend on him, but like, it's especially crucial right now. Anyway, please take this to the Father, because I ultimately, I'm just a servant. I'm just his servant, and I am accountable to him. and only Him, for everything that I say, for everything I've ever said. And I would sooner, literally, I would rather walk off a cliff than lead anyone astray or deceive anyone willfully or willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly. That's how serious I take this. This calling is not, it's not some joke. It's not a light, like, thing. I kind of come off as irreverent and funny and, but like in the magnitude of heaviness and the burden of it all, that's what the Lord gives me is His lightness, His joy, His peace, so that I can stay, so that I can stay functional in the face of what I know, in the face of what He reveals to me. Anyway, He wants to reveal much more. He just needs people. He doesn't need us to do anything, but for our sakes, he's pleading with us to prepare ourselves. He pleads with us day and night. He sends out His angels, His ministering angels, his army of angels amongst us to poke us and prod us and try to lead us back to Him. Anyhow, I hope that this message finds you blessed. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Is there anything else you want to say right now, Father? Peace be with you, my children, my dear ones. Now He's just being silent. I don't think there's anything more deafening in this world than the silence of God. Anyhow, peace be with you.